Welcome. Here we are today inside Bayview, Hunters Point, East Westbrook for our 10th edition of Inside Dev Mission. We're back, and I know you've been looking forward to these videos where we highlight some of our wonder stuff and their journey with our organization. Today, I have the pleasure to introduce you all to our wonderful STEAM Hub program coordinator, Stephany Pescador. So not only we're going to learn about her journey, but also some personal things about herself, how she got into tech, and how she's only able to take care of this wonderful location for the community. So Stephany, welcome.
Thank you for having me.
How was your weekend?
It was good. Tired, played games, but did more homework, but that's pretty much it.
Awesome. Well, I can't wait for everyone to really enjoy this interview. It brings a lot of joy to my heart to see young people that have come along the way to join the next generation of tech talent, but most importantly, how they give back to the community. So let's get right into it. Tell us a little bit about yourself, Stephany, so the audience will know who you are, where you came from, and what are you doing now?
Yeah, so hi. I was raised in San Francisco. I was born in Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, and I've pretty much lived here my entire 21 years of life. I go to City College of San Francisco. I'm studying cybersecurity. I work at DevMission as a STEAM Hub coordinator for the past 16 months, I believe. So I've been around as a coordinator for a year and 6 months. But I was a part of DevMission for about 4 years altogether. So it's been a while.
That's awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us. So as you started thinking about your journey with the organization, tell us, how did you hear about DevMission and what program did you sign up for, as you mentioned, about 4 years ago?
Yeah, so one day my mom got a flyer in the mail and she came upstairs and she showed it off to me. She's like, "You like working with tech?" And I was like, "A little bit, yeah." And so after that, I reached out to the number or the email and I signed up for the pre-apprenticeship program. It was the first one in the Hunters Point, Oakdale area. So that was a lot of fun to do with a couple of my other co-participants. So that was fun to do.
Nice. Can you also let the audience know a little bit about not just the approach of being able to sign up, but what did you learn throughout those 12 weeks being on the ground in the community, learning about tech?
Yeah, so I learned how to put together and take apart a computer, which was a really big thing because later on in life, I built my own computer from just remembering what I learned at DevVision. As well as I built my own website with HTML, CSS. I've done a lot of internship opportunities as well that kind of helped enhance those skills that I learned at DevMission. So I feel like I learned a lot while being there for 12 weeks.
Nice. So as you graduated from the program and you were thinking about, oh, this is pretty cool, I learned about tech, the wonderful things and the competencies that you were able to acquire, did you see yourself potentially becoming part of the mission or the tech industry, or that was just something abstract to you?
Yeah, so when I joined in high school, 17, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was very just I'll just figure it out once high school's over. And then, DevVision came in, they're like, "We have stuff to do for you to do." And I'm like, okay. So after doing that program and kind of exposing myself to the different opportunities of not only tech, but soft skills, like how to talk with people, how to, be in a work environment, it really kind of pushed me to want to be in a space like that. So because of that, I've learned a lot about not only myself, but about what I want to do. So yeah.
And do you think that approach and the different opportunities you had prepare you for a career in tech?
Yeah, so we did a lot of site visits as well. And I know tech people are super awkward. So just kind of trying to go in there with a different mindset of oh, hi, hello. Just bringing in a different approach was really something that I wanted to do in the tech world.
Nice. And as you started getting into that approach, you were able to see yourself within the tech industry, but how did that mission help you get beyond those exposure opportunities? Tell us a little bit about some of the opportunities you received after graduating from the program, being exposed to those corporate site visits. So maybe now from that 12-week to this point today, tell us how that journey has been helping you and what did you do during that time?
Yeah, so I've worn many hats in my career after college, after high school. I was a community technology associate for for Oakdale. I was a volunteer at the STEM Hub at one point, so I worked under Zuri, who was a really amazing teacher, and she taught me a lot of stuff, as well as doing the pre-apprenticeship. I've done like refurbathons, being able to talk to people. I've also done internships, so I've done an internship with App Dynamics, and I learned like more in-depth tech talk. So like kind of how to be a software engineer, how to work with Python, JavaScript, how to write code, how to test your scripts and stuff like that, as well as working at Postmates. So Postmates was pre-pandemic, so I was actually like going in every day and kind of just talking with all the tech people, shadowing product managers, talking with people that weren't related to tech, and seeing that there are different opportunities in a tech workplace. So like you don't always have to know everything about tech, because you can know nothing about tech and still work at a tech place. So it's kind of weird, but it definitely like exposed me to a lot more things of what I wanted to do career-wise, like being fresh out of high school, essentially.
Nice. Thank you for sharing that. So I can imagine yourself being exposed to these wonderful opportunities. And as you can imagine, not only yourself, but a lot of young people out there don't have that opportunity. They're not being exposed to STEM subjects at the high school level, and diversity in the tech industry, it hasn't changed. Let me repeat that. Diversity in the tech industry hasn't changed. So as you were preparing yourself for that type of exposure, do you remember setting some goals for you at that time and what those goals were for you back then?
Yeah, so definitely one of them was just to be at a place where I didn't think I was supposed to be at. So like working at Postmates, I was like, since it was all like on site and you saw everyone face to face every day, definitely just being like, I need to work in this place to not only diversify, the company, but also, bring some culture of like what I know into like a place that doesn't really not accept who I am, but doesn't really like go out of their way to bring in that diversity. So just taking that step forward and being like, I need to be here in like not only for myself, but for other people that may not see themselves in a tech role, because I never saw myself in a tech role, but now I'm like, I have to be in a tech role to the other generations. So that's what I think is a goal for me, was just to be anywhere in tech. So that was a goal for me.
Nice. Let's switch it up a little bit about the education component. I think that with all the respect, the journey that you have done with that organization always encourage you and others, right, to pursue education, to pursue STEM careers, computer science major. But your case is very interesting because let's go back to that high school approach and talk to us about maybe those goals that you were thinking about the education system and where you are now in respect of those goals.
Yeah, so in high school, I didn't even know that we had any sort of like computer program teaching until like my final semester, senior year, where I was able to take a class and learn like a little bit about Python. But I was kind of just like sad because I was like, there was like more years I could have taken this subject and, really enhanced like that knowledge that I would use down the line. So it would definitely have been nice to know, not only from like the school, but kind of have them more promote that like, hey, we have stuff for tech, come try it out. And I think once I took that Python class, it kind of helped me realize that it's like, okay, maybe coding isn't for me, or maybe I don't really like to learn this subject. But it, at least gave me that chance to try it without being like super scared of failing. but sometimes you try and it doesn't work out, and that's okay. So I think that was a good lesson to learn in high school.
So as we think about your exposure to careers in tech and the goals that you were able to achieve, now let's also talk about your educational goals. And I can imagine in the past 4 years, you have been exposed to a lot of that education approach to close the STEM gap at the high school level, if you want to call it. So maybe share a little bit about what that meant for you, but most importantly, correct me if I'm wrong, you have also switched that approach many times. So let's get the audience excited that at the end of the day, as long as you're passionate about something, you can pursue it. So yeah, share a little bit about that.
Yeah, so in high school, I didn't really know that there were any opportunities to learn about tech, but we had like AP computer science, learn how to do Python, and I never knew about any of that stuff until like my senior year, last semester of high school. So I kind of got a taste for computers, just aside from dev mission, but more on the coding side of things. And it would have been nice to know, like the school would have maybe taken a better approach and being like, hey, we offer stuff for tech, because I know at my school, tech, like even now, like tech is always evolving. So just kind of getting your foot in the door and learning about Python would have been nice to know earlier on, because then I could have like developed a better course of action on like what I wanted to do. And then, after high school, college came. First semester, I was super unsure of like what I wanted to do. I was so confused. But I took a computer forensics class. So it was like, it's a growing field. And I was super interested in it. It was like something that piqued my interest. Like it actually like made me want to go back for more. Like it was super interesting. The teacher was really great. And so after that first semester, I took a break and I worked at Postmates, and then COVID happened. And then after that, I went to App Dynamics. So that was like an online internship that I did with a bunch of other people, and we worked on code stuff. And I went in wanting to do a computer science degree. So that didn't really work out. So after that semester, I was like, I don't really want to learn about JavaScript, CSS, Python. Like I was so tired of working with code that I stopped working with that degree and then kind of switched majors into a game design career. So I tried that out for a little bit and also didn't really like it as much. And then this year, going back and actually working on getting my certificate in cybersecurity. So cybersecurity was honestly like something that I've always been interested in. It's always been in the back of my mind, like maybe not. We went to a place that actually like did some sort of cybersecurity stuff, and then that all like kind of kept me interested. So that's kind of been like my journey with like transitioning majors. I've done it a lot, but as long as you kind of have a goal in mind, you'll like get there, because hopefully this summer I'll be graduated with my associate's degree in cybersecurity. So that's exciting.
Congrats. Excuse me. So you can see out there, if you're watching this video, that you're able to identify what that career path is for you, and knowing that tech could mean a lot of different things. So of course, I want to wrap up that question with this other question. Do you believe that Dev Mission has helped you accomplish your goals in the past 4 years?
Yeah. So they've always given me an opportunity to like try and fail and then try and fail. I've just been with the organization for so long that it's kind of just like second nature to be like, hey, Leo, like I want to do this thing. I don't really know how to do that. And, you allocate resources or people and be like, hey, let's teach you how to do this. So I definitely think I've been given like a great opportunity to learn and just grow, because I definitely did not know what I was doing 4 years ago.
Well, thank you for allowing us to have this organization build that opportunity for you, but most importantly, how you also been so, I will say, approachable and available to have those opportunities, because I know you and I had done a lot of brainstorming to do this, to do that. What about this schedule? What about that schedule? So really, really excited to see what else is going to be available for you. And if one day the mission does not become that opportunity for you, we'll be happy to know that we got you to that point. So along those lines, what would it be like 3 words that you can describe Dev Mission within your journey that we have discussed just a couple minutes ago?
Gotcha. One word I would say is definitely life-changing. I don't know if that's 1 or 2 words, but definitely life-changing. You know, I've pretty much always been around Dev Mission. I've always just had something to do with you guys. You know, our STEM days, our refer-a-thons, our interviewing candidates. You know, I've always just been around. So it's definitely just been a very big part of my life for the last 4 years. Another one would be accommodating. You know, life has always been crazy. So just definitely having that accommodation of being like, hey, you know, you can take a little break here and then to kind of, you know, juggle out life, work, personal stuff. So it's definitely been an atmosphere where I feel like I don't have to worry about like stepping on people's toes. So everyone's really accommodating. And the last one would be, I can't think of one. Interesting. I think being with the mission has always just been interesting. There's always something. There's always something new. There's always something to work on. It's always just kind of interesting. Everything's always been interesting. So I think that would be my last word to describe my experience at Dev Mission.
Thanks. I know the last one took a while, but that's that's kind of cool to hear that for somebody like yourself, found out that that word means a lot, not just for you, but other staff that have been able to graduate from our programs and now are the ones running the show, if you want to call it. So that's been a great journey as well. Let's now think about the most memorable moment that you can remember with Dev Mission. I know it's been a long journey. I'm pretty sure that's just no one, but if you can share at least one memorable moment that you always like, man, I remember this day, what would that be?
Yeah, I have a lot of them. But I think the one that kind of sticks out would be graduating from City Hall. That was really fun to do because we all got like recorded and stuff. And then that was also the same time where I was announced to be a CTA at Oakdale. So it's kind of just a good day. I remember it very well. So it was very nice. So I remember that very well. So that was probably a moment that sticks with me a lot.
I still remember that day. You're totally right. You know, we had 3 cohorts graduating inside City Hall at the Rotunda, if I'm not mistaken. And it was a really nice experience to be there along with friends and family. So, yeah, clearly shares that moment. And yours is coming up with another graduation, right, from your associate degree. So that's going to be another milestone for you. So that's exciting. So as we have perhaps young people watching this video or partners or sponsors, I want to focus a little bit on the young people out there that might not be exposed to all these opportunities that you have been able to share with us today. What type of advice do you have for them in respect of your journey, and what else can they do to find similar opportunities, perhaps if it's not their mission or even maybe watching this somewhere else?
Yeah, I think a piece of advice I would give is like, you know, you don't have to look far. Sometimes the opportunities are just in your small little area. So just kind of keeping a lookout on flyers being posted, Instagram pages, Facebook, you know, just kind of keep an eye out. Like you don't have to go take a course all the way in New York City in order to get an experience that you can get locally. I think that there's many opportunities if you really, you know, put yourself out there, and, you know, sometimes you just got to take a chance because at the end of the day, it could probably be the best thing you've ever done. So I think that along with like, don't be afraid to fail. Like I learned that very late in life that it's okay to fail and try again as long as you don't give up. So I think that would be my pieces of advice.
Thank you. So if you're out there watching this video, there you have it. Someone that has not only shared the journey with all of you, but most importantly, how she was able to adapt and potentially make those necessary changes. So that's pretty cool. So as we look forward, which this is what it really excites me about the work that I do with my organization, is to see where young people are going to end up. And this might be a hard question right now, but that's okay. Try to do the best with the answer. Where do you see yourself 5 years from now?
Yeah. Hopefully with a tech job, living in my $3 million San Francisco mansion. That's where I see myself. But hopefully in just like in a tech place that, you know, values the work that I put in and pays me good. But just anywhere in tech, regardless of what it is where I hopefully see myself in the next 5 years.
Great. Well, cybersecurity is a great point to start, and I know there's a lot of opportunities out there. So as we start wrapping up this wonderful interview with you, I want to thank you for allowing us to learn more about yourself, your journey, but there's also, away from all that wonderful opportunity, there's people that might not know what Dev Mission does or what we've been doing for the past 5 years. What will be one thing that you can share with the audience about what Dev Mission is about?
Yeah, so Dev Mission is a place where you can learn. Like, you can learn things from hardware, software, soft skills, networking, learning how to build a LinkedIn profile. Like, it's just a place where you can learn. And just knowing that and saying that, like, yeah, I feel like I learned a lot today or in these past couple months. It's a place where, you know, you can not only express yourself, but, you know, back up what you've learned. So it's like, if I learned on paper how to create a website, you actually put that into action. You know, like, oh, I actually built a website from scratch. But yeah, I think it's just a place where you can be yourself, but also learn in that process. So that's what I think Dev Mission is about.
Nice. Well, I always come out of the cuts for this type of interviews. I've been doing this inside Dev Mission during the pandemic, and finally that we're not during that status. I always come out of the cuts with a question that you might not be expecting based on the script that we shared earlier. Mm-hmm. I really like everyone to know what it means to do this work right now, helping all these kids in one of the most roughest neighborhoods in San Francisco, Hunts Point, East Westbrook. Beautiful location, and we know the history about Bayview, Hunts Point area. But most importantly, every day you walk in here, tell us what that feels like, and tell us what these kids are learning now from you.
Yeah, so every day I walk in, I just try to make it an opportunity for kids to learn, kind of teach them what I've learned, teach them what I don't know, essentially. You know, kids are sponges and they will absorb everything you teach them, from how you open a computer, how you turn it on. They'll recreate those steps to do the same thing. So just kind of giving them an opportunity to just expose them to STEM, to expose them to things that they didn't think they would like, to just let them have a chance to be themselves in a safe environment where they can learn.
Nice. That was cool. I see a lot of emotion on that. And I think that sometimes that's what really Dev Mission does, opens up that frontier of opportunities. So I want to thank you on behalf of this organization, our board of directors, our leadership team, but all the kids that have come to this center for the past 3.5 years to be exposed to STEM opportunities. And as you continue this journey, you know, think about what that meant for you growing up. Think about what it meant for you being exposed to that opportunity. But most importantly, continue to be passionate about what you do, because I know that's what sets you apart from a lot of folks within the work in the tech industry. And that's how you're going to find your niche and your next journey in the tech industry. So Thank you for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
So there you have it, folks. We are here again inside the STEAM Hub. We want to give a big shout out to San Francisco Housing Development Corporation for allowing us to have this beautiful space where kids can come and explore about STEM opportunities. So there you have it, inside Dev Mission episode number 10 with our very own, truly, Stephany Pescador.